Okay, thank you, Miss Lilian. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to Yang Bahagia Tan Sri, Datuk-Datuk, Tuan-Tuan and Puan-Puan. Okay, basically, I will share some of our experience in implementation of smart city at local level. So basically, as what Ms. Lilian said just now, back in the early days when the government planned to build the city of Putrajaya, it's already planned to become an intelligent garden city. Since then, basically PPG already embarked on ICT technologies since the beginning of the city development. But now, Putrajaya is already 25 years old. We just celebrate it recently. So the rapid urbanization that has been taken place in the last 25 years has resulted in various urban issues related to traffic, environment, security, health, economy, and many others as mentioned by Datuk Mary just now. So we need to find a better approach before the issues become worsened. So to address these urban issues, smart city is a new approach in urban management and development to make Putrajaya more sustainable and livable. Informations and technology can make smart city more practical and convenient for our community and also as a local authority. After more than 15 years, technology has changed rapidly. With the recent Industrial Revolution 4.0, we have digital economy, the Internet of Things, and the new ways of doing things offer huge potential to transform our city. It's about time for all of us to take these opportunities to develop a comprehensive plan to adopt the smart city approach. So back in 2017, Perbadanan Putrajaya has begun its journey to develop the smart city blueprint that become our main reference on what are the smart city initiatives required for us to become a smart city. Our city planners plays a very important role during that stage in making the blueprint ready by 2019. So among the most important activities that we have done, actually we performed a stakeholder engagement by organizing a number of focus group discussion, which is one of the important activities for us to identify our smart city initiative that suit with our city. So it is important to note that smart city requirement has different purposes and areas by local authority. So it is important for Putrajaya to identify its goals and objectives in defining the Putrajaya Smart City. So these 2025 long-term plans are the key fundamental attributes of a smart city, and the current planning and developments of Putrajaya set the pathway towards such transformation to become a smart city. So in our document, in our Putrajaya Smart City document, we have identified about 93 initiatives across 7 smart city domains. So this is not much different from the 7 domains as stated in KPKT Smart City Framework. So with this blueprint, we come into more detailed plan from that framework. So and on each initiative, we identified who is the key player within our internal department and also external agencies involved. So we also identified the timeline approach into 4 categories. We have initiative that can be done using a quick win strategy. We have short-term strategy, medium-term, and also long-term. The timeline can be identified based on a few factors. For example, those who can put as quick win and short-term, we identified those initiatives that didn't require internal budget, which we need to do collaboration with agencies and private sector. For example, what we have done so far in Putrajaya, we collaborate to initiate project related to smart meter, mobile connectivity, and also cashless. Other things that we can put as quick win and short term is initiative that can develop on existing infrastructure. For example, I believe that in many cities, there is already an existing sensors. Even it is not IoT based sensor, but this sensor still can be used, it's still workable. We just to make the connection connected to the main systems. So we also have the fiber optics in the existing infrastructure and also building. So we just spend on upgrading the endpoint technology without spending on infrastructure development. Other than that, initiative that have priority due to the people really needs that initiative to be in. So in our case in Putrajaya, is of course initiative related to the safety and security of the city. So that's why at the early beginning of our Smart City Initiative Plan, we put priority on the installation of smart CCTVs, the establishment of Putrajaya Command Center, and also the establishment of panic button projects. So other than that, PPJ also has established a dedicated team to accelerate the smart city implementation in Putrajaya. So immediately after our city planner come up with the blueprint, then the Perbadanan Putrajaya has actually established a dedicated team which has a few responsibilities. Among the responsibility of this team is to create an action plan for each of the initiative. And also this team is responsible for the coordination with internal departments, agencies, external agencies, and also private sector. At the same time, the team also need to identify strategic partners and build the networking among them. The team is also need to study and compare technologies, solutions, and implementation approach that best suit with the city with consideration of sustainable implementation. We have to, as much as possible, to choose a technology that can last longer and able to maintain. At the same time, the team is also responsible to promote the initiative to let the public know about it. So in terms of smart city funding, Perbadanan project always looks for opportunities, especially programs under government agencies and partnership with any strategic partner related to IR 4.0 and also digital economy. For example, under the National Technology Innovation Sandbox, NTIS program that been announced by the government last year, so the National Technology and Innovation Sandbox, NTIS, is a facility that allows researchers, innovators, startup and high-tech entrepreneurs to test their product, services, business model, and business, and also high-tech entrepreneurs to test their product in a live environment. So Internet of Things, IoT technology is still new to us. The best way, in our opinion, in our experience, to implement smart city using Internet of Things technology is by doing sandboxing and pilot project. It is not advisable to implement new technology in a big scale. So with this pilot project, we can look at the impacts, the stability, the effectiveness. Then we can identify what needs to be improved. Then only we move for a bigger scale. So pilot project approach is also a better approach because it requires less time to complete for us to see the result. Among the pilot project that PPJ has been successfully completed is centralized electronic bulletin board, and also we have virtual classroom. Currently, we are doing some pilot project for IoT sensor, such as smart street light and also environmental sensor. So in our experience, when we choose technology, we also need to choose wisely. It is best to look for fair and common solution so that we do not start with any brands, and also give opportunities for local product. We should know that there is an increasing number of local product has produced the quality of IoT devices locally. This will also help government to achieve the targeted, I think, My Digital Blueprint that has been announced recently in terms of accelerating technology-based businesses. So with the recent announcement of My Digital Blueprint, the government has announced to achieve 80% of using cloud storage. To us, this is a very good opportunity for us so that we don't need to think so much on maintaining, like we purchase physical hardware or physical things. So with the rapid hardware technology change, impact can be reduced with cloud solution. So we can also deploy smart city application and data into cloud services and pay only resources that we need to use without worrying so much on resources and cost to maintain the service. Local authority can also do private collaboration, implementing smart city initiative with business model in place with a win-win situation. Requests for proposal for private collaboration is one of the methods that can be used to get the best working collaboration model. Among the initiatives that can be considered that on Perbadanan project is also doing it right now is things related to smart pool for telecommunication infrastructure, city mobile apps, and also outdoor digital billboards. The other source of fund is actually via RMK budget. We need to put more effort in getting this budget. the best approach for us to get this budget is to have a documented long-term plan for our smart city. I'm highly recommended that local authority to develop a comprehensive smart city blueprint for your city. Whenever you apply for federal budget, they could see you already have the plan documented. So basically, as a conclusion of my talk today, there's a few things that actually play a very important role in our experience in implementing smart city. One of it is, of course, the collaboration with stakeholders. A successful smart city plan relies on the involvement of your city, citizen, business, and also other stakeholders. Second, create your smart city blueprint, create the execution plan so that you clear what you need and you clear what are you going to do and which things that you want to do first. Prioritize and categorize smart city initiative. Prioritize small and quick victories at the beginning to broaden stakeholder perception of the initiative. Fourth, develop partnership networking. Fifth, seek funding opportunities. Grant from the federal government, agencies, and public service partners can help finance your initiative. Six, ensure maintainability. Smart technology cannot exist without a strong foundation and ongoing maintenance. These technologies are a technologies investment just like any others. Assess your environment and be sure that key responsibilities are assigned and that you have adequate resources to maintain the initiative. Choose the right technology. And the last but not least is the pilot project. This smaller scale project approach will also help you to determine required fix in the process, technology, and user experience. Based on this result, you can refine the solution before going for full deployment. I think that's all from me. Back to you, Ms. Lilian.
Thank you, Cik Sabri, for sharing a very comprehensive story of Putrajaya. I think all the other 152 local authorities would learn a lot, but also be quite envious of, I think, the special status, I think, of Putrajaya as our federal administrative capital.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would just like to ask, before we move on to more detailed questions later, how much of the Perbadanan Putrajaya's operating budget each year goes towards, is allocated towards implementing and, as you said, upgrading of already existing infrastructure laid, in the building of Putrajaya? How much actually goes into that? Is it 1%, 5%, 10%? Is it something that you think should be a benchmark on allocation of spending for the other local authorities?
Okay. Okay, basically, if let's say in terms of budget that we use currently to implement smart cities, as I mentioned earlier just now, actually most of the implementation of smart city, we do a lot through collaborations. But in terms of budget, we do manage to get quite a number of budget via RMK projects. I think more than about 50% of our smart city initiative we managed to get from RMK 11 and also RMK 12. Yeah. So that's why just now I mentioned it is very important for us to come with a detailed plan. The blueprint is very important. So whenever we approach the EPU, we always bring this document that we say to them, we already have a plan. So in order for us to achieve this plan, we need to have some fund. Yeah. So based on what we will receive, I can say that yearly we managed to get for at least 10 to 20 millions from the federal agencies for us to implement the smart city project. Yeah? So in terms of that amount of fund that we get, is about roughly maybe around 10 to 10% of our yearly expendable expansions on maintaining the city and also doing some other development for the city. So yeah, so basically we didn't use so much on our internal budget. It's more into budget that we get from the federal government and also via collaboration with other agencies and also private sectors. So I think that will answer the question, Ms. Eliana.
Yes, yes. It's a question not so much for my benefit, but for all the other 100 authorities to know that that's the scale of spending that needs to be allocated, whether it comes from the RMK 11 or 12, or whether it comes from their their annual revenue through assessments.
Okay, but maybe I would just add up something. Actually, most of the cost required for the smart city is not much on the Internet of Things, actually, devices. For us, the Internet of Things implementation is quite considerable, doesn't require so much cost. So the most part actually require much cost is actually on the infrastructure itself. So for example, for the past 2 years, actually Perbadanan has actually developed our own infrastructure, which is the fiber optics. So we have laid down about 60 kilometers of new fiber optic in the city instead of the 128 kilometers that we have previously. And also we spend more into building infrastructure for safety and security. So for example, we do spend quite a huge amount of money for actually safety and security, which is the outdoor CCTV. So the outdoor CCTV is not something that it's not something like the Internet of Things. The cost for this actually is quite high compared to other smart city initiative implementations. Other than that, the bigger cost is also in establishing our Putrajaya Command Center. So inside this command center, we have to get a better hardware, a better screen, and also to pull all the data from our sensor, from our CCTVs, from any other information, from any other input back to one single location. So I think only at the beginning, we do need to spend this huge amount of cost. Then when we start to implement the Internet of Things, I believe that we could lower the implementation cost because all these devices, compared to the previous technology, is so much more cheaper than before. Okay.